welcome to the channel. Now, I haven't posted a video for maybe even 6 weeks, I think. Now the reason for that is it's been locked down, and unfortunately for me working in social care, it's meant I've been doing quite a few extra hours. However, here we are. Somebody requested that I do a video on the game room. Now the problem is, this from there to there is my game room. Now I've posted a couple of pictures on Twitter and what have you, and it's usually from like here. And the thing with that is my game room, and I've crammed a lot of stuff into it. And this person actually requested a video because I've crammed so much in. They wanted to know, you know, how do you make a compact game room? This is an ex-council house that we bought, 2-bedroom. My other half prefers the other bedroom to remain as a bedroom, unfortunately. I would sleep on the floor and have that as a game room, but you know, can't have everything. So yeah, we fit a lot in here, and it's taken a few tricks to actually get so many games onto these systems that don't involve, because if you look at my shelving, a lot of these, like that's my entire PS2 collection and PS1 collection actually, but a lot of these I have to cycle out. So you've got the Xbox 360 stuff down at the bottom down there. I have to cycle this stuff out, Dreamcast stuff. I've got a cupboard here that's just chock-a-block with games, especially the Electron, Amiga, Commodore, the Spectrum. I've got hundreds of tapes for that, and discs and what have you. But the problem is I've got nowhere to put them. So we have a few solutions for that. So I'm going to give you a little tour. I should say as well, the reason that it goes from there to there and not behind me is that this side of the room, operates as a recording studio. So I've got my home studio over here. As you'll see, I'm back over here. We've got some of the acoustic panels. They were set up before this. I mean, actually, the amount of boxes and stuff that are up top here, and so much stuff on the walls affects the acoustics far more than these do. But I think I keep them up because they still look all right. So yeah, this side of the room operates as a recording studio, and I'm afraid I need that for my music stuff. So I'll start over here actually, because this is not so much related. I do a lot of solo board gaming. I like solo board games, so that's some of those. Over here, actually, the record player is probably not staying there. I think like everybody else, when you've got a small space, you're constantly moving shelves. I mean, it's forever moving shelves, building shelves. But now I think I'm officially out of room. The plan is to let this house out at some point and buy a bigger one with a specific huge game room is my plan. So yeah, there's some of my gaming stuff over there, as that's actually not set up very well. They've got the Game Gear and the Atari Lynx. And we'll actually just quickly pan over to this side. So there you've got some shelving with boxes on top. Yes, it's not the praise. There's my Atari 2600 game collection down there. We love the 2600. Over here on the left, unfortunately, just all my Warhammer over here. Boring. So yeah, here we are. Here's my kind of nicer looking shelves. I could do with better ones again. It's cost versus space, as the headset unfortunately sits, the VR headset here sits behind, because I had a stand for it and I just ran out of room to put it in. So what we've got on this first setup is a 4K telly. I actually forget what size it is, it's not very big, 40 inch, something like that. So yeah, there's my consoles that are on there. Okay, so on the first kind of unit here, we've got our Game Gear, PS3, Xbox Original, Xbox 360, Atari Jaguar, and the N64. A new addition really is this riser. I had 3 consoles on a kind of rack like this, and I just didn't like it. It wasn't nice. So I found a double monitor stand, and that now use it for my TV. So I've got the Wii U, the Xbox, and the PS4 Pro into there, and it works perfectly. The ventilation is fine. It works great. So yeah, that's definitely how I've saved a bit of space there. Over here, one of the newer additions is the SNK Arcade Stick Pro. It's a nice bit of kit. I've been hoping to actually review this, I just haven't got round to it. Capcom Home Arcade here as well. That's what you see running at the moment. I was extremely impressed with this. I was one of those people that saw the Capcom Home Arcade and thought, strange, how strange looking. Actually, I love it. It's fantastic. It works extremely well. If only it was smaller, because the only person who comes in here is my other half, and she doesn't play it, but it's okay. So yeah, that's how I've got that rigged up. I'd like it to be a bit more arcade looking, but it's fine, it works. So over here, yeah, we've got the old CRT. We'll go up to these shelves in a moment. The CRT there. The CRT is running, I think, all of these actually. So we've got Atari 7800 down there, PS2, the NES, Sega Saturn, PS1 and the Dreamcast. Okay, so handhelds, we've got the DS, we've got the Game Boy Advance, the Neo Geo Pocket over here, the 2DS, the Game Boy Original, the Switch Lite, PS Vita, one of my absolute favourite handhelds of all time, the TV Boy, it's not actually a handheld, but it's a TV game system. I did a video on that not too long ago, and the PSP. I'll talk about the lighting in a while. Actually, I'm just going to go around and show you some of what we've got in here. I think the total is 42 consoles and handhelds, I think. One of the problems I have is I'm about to buy an Amstrad PC W8256 with a Gotek drive in it, and I've got nowhere to put it, so I'm going to have to reshuffle all this yet again. Okay, so over here we have a Goodman's CRT, little 10-inch, fantastic bit of kit. I got about 50 quid off eBay. I'm so happy with that. It's just a great little size. So it works so well with these systems. Acorn Electron and Sinclair ZX Spectrum Plus 2. Now, I've got so many tapes for like the Commodore Spectrum, the Electron, it's unbelievable. However, I want to preserve the tapes and I want to save space. So what I got for these was, this is the ElkSD64 and the Div MMC in the back there. Card readers, they work fantastic. You get to use your old hardware, original hardware, and preserve your games, save space. I absolutely love it. And this one, the joystick goes into the back of here as well, just like the old expansion. So yeah, absolutely great. Saves room. I mean, I wouldn't have room in here for all the tapes to be displayed. They're just locked away in the cupboard. Okay, so over here we've got the, unfortunately not a CRT, we've got this telly which has the Commodore 64, which is currently running Eagle's Nest, one of my favourite Commodore 64 games. We also have the Hyperkin Retron 77, we have the Retro Freak console over here, and the Amiga 500. Now, for the Commodore 64, that is running one of these readers. Again, I think I've got the most amount of games for the C64. I don't know, hundreds upon hundreds of games for that. But with this, you can have thousands in one place. With this reader, you shift run stop as you would normally to run a game, and you just select the .tap file and press play. What I've actually tried to do is copy. I was trying to preserve my own collection. I know you can, of course, get ROMs yourself, but I was trying to preserve my own tapes, and I did find that you can convert the audio from your tapes into these .tap files. I was going to do a video on it. Unfortunately, it's not very straightforward. Half the time it doesn't work, which seems a bit silly of a thing to have a guide on. So I'm probably doing it wrong, but either way, you can of course get these games elsewhere and play them through that. That just goes into the cassette port, and for that, so it's a digital cassette player. The Amiga 500, I have just had a Gotek drive installed by Amiga Passion. Highly recommend it if you're in the UK. He's fantastic. Decent prices, got it from him and he just installed it himself. I wouldn't want to do that. I know it's quite straightforward, but it's not something I'm confident with. So yeah, I think that was about 40 quid all in to get the Gotek drive, and that, if we can, I don't think we can get round to there yet. So that's the Gotek drive, it's not turned on, so you can go through your games. Same again, it's a card reader flash drive. For the Hyperkin Retron 77, that's for your Atari 2600 games. It does a great job of that. There is firmware you can upgrade on that, so you can add tons of ROMs instead of the basic, I don't know, it was limited to like 18 ROMs or something when it came out. You can upgrade the firmware, add your own ROMs. Same with this was again for preserving my cartridge collection, the Retro Freak console.
what you do with that is you rip your cartridges to the machine and it remembers it. You can also just add your own ROMs to the memory card, and off you go, thousands upon thousands of games. Yeah, okay, so there's just a few of my handheld games there. So yeah, I mean, the thing is, I do have to switch out games quite a lot, particularly some of the consoles. Like, I mean, some of them there are my entire collections. As I said, like, that is my whole PS2 collections. I got rid of so many of these games to make room. A lot of the dross that you just don't need. But things like the Dreamcast games, I have to swap them out all the time, and it is a bit of an annoyance. Finally, the lighting. So up here we're using a strip light that's just tacked on to the ceiling there. It was 25 quid on Amazon. Really straightforward to find. These ones were from IKEA. They are little plastic strips there. You can adjust the length accordingly. And same with down here. What I've done is I've taken those same plastic strips, I've run them along the back so it gives off enough light. Okay, so that is my game room. It is very compact. However, that was kind of the point in the video, was just to say, you know, you can put a game room into a very small space, particularly because these are my favourite systems here. There's no way I could play these and have my collection on display. It's just not going to work, my game collection. It has to stay in a cupboard. I mean, you can't even begin to imagine where I would put the 1,000+, maybe even more games for these old 80s systems here, especially, I mean, the Amiga discs. God knows how many I've got. Commodore tapes I've at least 500 of. Electron and Spectrum between them, probably about 500. So yeah, and it's just I think they're a great way of saving room, preserving your old collection, especially if it's on tape. So yeah, that is it. Thank you very much for watching. I'll put some links into the description, particularly for like the card readers and stuff like that. I hope it inspires any ideas for having a compact game room, how to fit stuff in. So thank you again. See you next time.